No matter what she does, Danielle Cormack will be remembered by many as Beasmith from Wentworth, and she's okay with that.
The Kiwi-born actor's portrayal of the top dog of Cell Block H had fans and critics on the edge of their seat. Now, in her new stage production, Danielle's back doing what she does best, playing a strong, independent woman. And Danielle Cormack joins us now from Brisbane. Danielle, hello. This new production is called Hedda. It was originally written in 1891. Talk to us. What is this show about?
So our Hedda is it's an adaptation, a reimagining of Ibsen's play Hedda Gabler that was written in the late 19th century. So we've set it. Well, Melissa Bubnick, who's written the play, an Australian playwright, has set the play on the Gold Coast now in the meth-dealing underworld of Surfers Paradise. And my Hedda is an enterprising businesswoman from Melbourne who's married into a drug-running family. So a far cry from 1891 Ibsen's Hedda Gabler.
It's a pretty modern twist, isn't it?
Yeah, sure does. The character seems like a tough, independent woman. You're no stranger to any of those roles. Is it more fun to play that kind of a part?
Oh, by a long shot. You know, I really look forward now to seeing more characters, female characters on our screens, on our stages, that have more agency, and that's exactly why Melissa Bubnick, the writer, and Paige Rattray wanted to create this Hedda where Hedda wasn't a victim. So, and that was one of the aspects of the show that really interested me. So our Hedda, she isn't a bored, disenchanted housewife who's just been married. She owns her own business and she's struggling to get her business back that her father ended up having to sell to a drug lord. And you know, it's the choices that she makes to try and make her way in the world. And the stage, the setting is beautifully reflective of this part of Australia, Queensland, the colourful, brassy nature of the Gold Coast. But once again, in stark contrast to this Hedda, who is very acerbic, very dry, she's highly educated. So it investigates the class and the different societies within Australia as well, which is really interesting. So it's really reflective of what is happening in Australia now, and especially with property development and so forth. There's so much in it in the play.
Yeah. Yet another tough and I guess involved role for you. Do you ever just want to take a break and, you know, take a damsel in distress type role or something like that?
Well, I don't really want to be in distress, but I think it's less about what the characters are going through and making sure that the characters that we see on our screens are well drawn, that they're there not just to service the male protagonists but also have their own journeys. And you know, and I find more and more now, if you go on television shows, reading books and everything, that people are much more interested in investigating the female drive, the female protagonist or antagonist, and in this show, Hedda is a, you know, she's one of the great iconic theatrical roles, but our Hedda, she is the anti-hero, and she's incredibly flawed, and she's very manipulative, and you know, the character psychology is really interesting to play and to investigate, and you know, to be able to have the characters to be able to do that with is a great joy for me. It's an actor's playground, so I relish roles like this. They don't have to all be, you know, subservient and law-abiding, so I say.
Well, far from subservient and law-abiding was Xena, of course. Got to ask you, this script from the cancelled reboot was recently leaked. Now, in it, Hercules was the villain. Xena was in a relationship with her friend Gabriella. So let me ask you, would you ever put your hand up to be in a modern-day makeover for it?
Of Xena, of course. You know, Xena paved the way for those kinds of shows. It was iconic, and it forged a huge fan base, and also the investigation of the nuance between the two lead characters with the female relationship, which you know, it started to, you know, open up those doors about the conversations around female relationships on screen, and and it's to be applauded for that. Yeah, I put my hand hand up. I'd be playing a grandmother now in the show, I'm sure. But I'd have to go back to the gym. Mind you, I've been having a really nice time in this show because it's set on the Gold Coast. Most of us have to appear in our budgie in budgie smugglers and bathers. So I'm glad that I'm dressed well for the Gold Coast in the show. So if you want to see me in bathers and be a really awesomely manipulative, brilliant character, come and see Hedda at the Queensland Theatre.
Danielle, let's talk Christmas just for a little while. You've been inspiring people to help those who are less fortunate for many years now. Do you have a message for people looking to lend a hand for 2018 Christmas time?
Oh, well, for me, I'm a great supporter of. I'm an ambassador for Children's, for Child Fund, for child-centric agencies, and actually on that note, today is International World Children's Day. So, and I'm also an ambassador for Kids of Nauru to be able to try and get the 17 remaining kids out of detention. But that's through Child Fund as well. So I would say, get online, buy gifts that grow, buy gifts that mean something for families. Gifts that are sustainable, cows, food, schooling, books,
things
education,
that
are sustainable, and just be there for your loved ones as well, for your own family. A hug can go a much longer way than a really expensive present sometimes.
Yeah, well said. Danielle, all the best with Hedda Gabler as she takes on the GC. I'm sure you'll be a knockout. Always great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
If you'd like to see Danielle Cormack in Hedda, all the details are on the Daily Edition website.